See if we can get anybody back on. Will anybody come back? I probably wouldn't, so I don't feel bad about that. Internet issues. Anybody there? Somebody's there. Hey, welcome back. See if we get anybody else on here. Oh boy. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming back over. Sorry guys. My internet router decided to bounce. Oh, we got 5 back. All right. Customer retention. Sorry about that, you guys. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I don't know what it was. The router just decided to dip, and then it switched to 5G, which it should carry the stream over, but for some reason it didn't carry the stream over. So started a new one. So thank you very much. Welcome back in. Welcome back in. Hey, Bob. Who else do we got back on? Magpie, welcome back in. Larry, I hope you're able to join again. I apologize. So, where were we? We were talking about the pipeline. So, initially, the way it works is these companies will build product and they will ship them in shipping containers to the States, usually through the port of Los Angeles, which is the busiest port, I think, in the world, at least right now. And if you've seen any of in the news, any of the videos or pictures, they have a massive, and I mean massive, backlog of ships that can't even dock. And then once they're docked, they can't get their containers off the dock. So companies, I've even heard of some companies like hiring private helicopter operators to fly in and pull their shipping containers out. So stuff is stuck on the dock. Anyway, getting your stuff through there is crazy. But beyond that, in China, there is a massive shortage of chips coming out of there. So anything that runs on microprocessors and a lot of ICs are in major backlog, which is why car manufacturers like Honda, Ford, and Chevy have hundreds of thousands of new cars with no chips. In fact, it got so bad they started shipping the cars stateside without the chips, so they can have final assembly once the chips arrive, but still at least get the cars over here. So anyway, it's happening with record players too. Welcome back in, everybody. My router died, so sorry about that. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. I'd appreciate that. So what ends up happening is they just don't make the record players until they can get the chips, and what happens is then you eat up the back stock in Amazon and other warehousing. So right now, Amazon doesn't have anything. So they don't have anything coming in for a while, and they're chewing up their stock. Needless to say, they're not getting anything into anybody's hands anytime soon. It's really hard to get a record player right now. So, with that being said, there's nothing coming from Audio-Technica in the immediate future, as far as I can tell, because of that. We have talked to them about trying to review some of their stuff, but it hasn't happened. So we will, use funds that are gathered through ad revenue, through memberships. By the way, thank you to members of the Vinyl Nation, and through our affiliate marketing to invest in equipment. But if you're wondering why the influx or the rate at which we're able to review turntables is slower than it used to be, that is why. When you have to pay outright for them, it slows it down. So we do it when we can. We also review other stuff along the way. So Audio-Technica got stuff coming, and oh cool, Larry, you got a white one? That's awesome. I got my white LP3 set up right now. Just a great turntable. I loved my black one, and I didn't think I would want the white one, but I really ended up loving it, especially with a slice of white acrylic on there as a platter mat. It is absolutely wonderful. That is great. So you'll enjoy that. JD's, that's because all the shipping containers here in the UK stuck because we have fuel in truck. Yeah, I've heard about your fuel outage. Thanks to Boris Johnson, the Brexit. Yep. We hear about some of that stuff. I also tune into the BBC World Service as well, so I can get some insider knowledge there. Try to. Also have some friends over there outside of YouTube. Thank you so much for the update, though. Similar thing is happening in the UK and also in Europe. Yeah, truck drivers and gas. So Audio-Technica is feeling it very hard. So what happens is when they go out of stock, like the LP3 is a great example, or anything, their C100s or the LP120s and others will go out of stock on Amazon and it'll say unavailable. And people are like, oh my gosh, it's been discontinued. It's not discontinued. I don't think they discontinued anything this year. It's all about the logistics of trying to get it shipped. So yeah. Let's see. Victrola, we do have something coming imminently. Now here's something interesting you may not know. Here's another insider tip for the insiders on this call. Sorry. I've been doing conference calls all day. I live on Microsoft Teams and Zoom. On this show, live show, video, stream, whatever. Wait, this thing that we're doing that's very similar but not quite the same as a Zoom call. We'll consider this the investors streaming call, all right? Thank you guys so much. But anyway, what's happening with Victrola is they've got a really cool new one. It's not secret. It's been released, but I'm gonna keep my lips sealed until we announce it on our show. But it's cool. It's a game changer, I think, and it looks like it's well built. So I'm trying to get my hands on that. But what I was gonna say is Victrola moved their headquarters here to Denver. So I almost had an opportunity last week to go out there, and I will do it. But I know the product and development guy over there. He's a really good guy, and he invited me out there. It just didn't work out. So I have plans to go out to Victrola and check out their stuff in person, which I'm excited to do. I don't know if it's like Crosley's operations in Louisville, Kentucky are very much just an office. In fact, it's a very humble office. They don't have a lot. I mean, it's manufacturing is not there, obviously. So there's not a need for a factory per se, but you know, it's interesting. So I'm not sure if Victrola here in Denver has a, yeah, I'd love to do a tour. That'd be sick. I don't know if they have anything besides offices or how big it is, but I'm planning to check that out. Let's talk audio. I agree, JD. Let's talk audio. Chat video call. Exactly. It's a chat video call. What else we got? Ocean Digital, the internet radio company, was talking to them last night, and they've got some cool stuff coming. They've got a redesign of a product. They say it's a redesign, but I saw pictures of it, and it doesn't look like anything that I've ever seen before, so perhaps I just wasn't aware of the original, but that's coming. It is internet radio with a CD player, and if you remember the rack-mounted radio player, internet radio with the, that reminds me of a good story, with the CD player I was kind of sketched out because the CD player edge as metal, sharp edge metal, and I felt like it was scratching the CD as it was inserted, and I was inconclusive in testing that. But yeah, I haven't thought about covering DCC tapes. Mini disc we've done a lot of, Larry. A mini disc. I've got a mini disc Sony deck right here. I've got a stack of mini discs over there. I got a few portables. So we have done that. Oh, I was at a thrift store not too long ago. It was down in Castle Rock, Colorado, which is it's about 45 minutes south, and they had a Sony mini disc deck at the Goodwill. And what was amazing is it was actually very similar to this one. This is like a 96. What do I have? I have the MDS JE510. This is actually a JE4 something, but it was right about 96, 98. But it had LP, which is the preferred mini disc variant that I like. And I was able to, or I would have been able to, snap one of those up. It was like $45 though, which it's actually probably worth at least double that, but I didn't have $45 to spend on something I wasn't expecting to at that moment. So trying to be strategic with the investments, and that just wasn't in the cards. But I was surprised to see, like, you never see mini disc when you're at the, I gotta change hands here. You never see mini disc when you're at a Goodwill like that. But that was cool. But yeah, we've done mini disc. I do like the format, although it's a very high maintenance thing, kind of like 8-track. Bob, thank you. I enjoy your 8-track. Oh, thank you very much. That's awesome. It's exciting. You never know. I need to do more of that. Magpie says, I bought my review about it and I'm really happy with it. Thanks for the video. Thank you very much. That is a cool unit. I had heard so much about it. And before we reviewed the 60X, a friend of mine at work he had an LP60, the first generation one. And he's like, hey, you want to you want to check this out, I know you have a YouTube channel, and um, if you want to review it or whatever. So the very first LP60 we reviewed was the original, which is great. And I guess people said that the tone arm dropped a little too fast, which they improved that on the X, which was really really cool. But yeah, that's a great unit. In fact, one of the turntables kind of in the pipeline to review was another variant. I think the Bluetooth one or maybe the headphone one bundle that they have audio. Because even though the LP3 does have the added benefit of you can upgrade and replace the cartridge and stylus, do I need that or do I do that? Not very often. I have done it once, but for the most part, I think I'd be happy with the stock cartridge, the Audio-Technica 3600L. It's perfectly fine. It's conical. It does a great job. I've got mine upgraded right now. The LP3 comes with a AT90R, which is the red tipped one. It's pretty much like a 3600, but it's elliptical. So it's got a different tip on the bottom of the stylus. So it reads the information in the groove a little bit more accurately than a conical stylus. And if your records are clean, they're not dusty and dirty and old, will pick up more of that noise. So if you've got some decent vinyl that sounds good, then it's the way to go. The way to go. So yeah, I lost my train of thought yet again. My apologies. Maybe I'll remember it here. I guess people here in Colorado just have a lot of junk to get rid of. And it's like, and saw that Panasonic, in fact, it's right here. Trying not to knock other stuff off the shelf. I saw this just chilling out. You know how they have like the glass case? If you've ever been to a Goodwill, they have like a glass case with this slightly higher quality crap. And this was in there for like, what did I pay for this thing? I think I paid $15. I'm like, that's a no-brainer. These things are, they're worth a lot more, but I'm more interested in just, I'm not going to spend $100 on something like that, but I will spend, 15, might have been $20, but it was worth it. I was like, that's a good deal. It works perfectly. It works really good. You never know what you're going to find. A lot of times, most of the time, you're like, it was this one that thing for a period of time. Oh, I'm getting interrupted. Sorry, Bob. Yeah, Goodwill's heavily picked over, and I know the mini disc, right? Plus, they sell that stuff on their website, the shopgoodwill.com, which isn't that good. I've been on there a few times. I've never bought anything from them because it's not like that great of a deal from what I've seen. Brian says, love your Patsy Cline record collection. Thank you so much. That's been so fun. Like, I have not discovered a new artist like that in quite some time. It's just been amazing. It's doing it in affordable, small, bite-sized pieces. If my wife is watching this, she's rolling her eyes at the affordable bite-sized. Already got my eyes on something else. Honey, there's another one I want to talk to you about. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I just really, really enjoy it. So one of the things I did today, I try to kind of reward myself on a busy work day with some kind of nerdy Record-ology thing that is just a fun thing to do. So today's reward project was I've been wanting. So I have the office, and then in the bedroom I've got a little portable one, and I use. Am I back? Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, I'm changing my location. Hold on. I'm going to get closer to the router. Okay. Can you guys hear and see me any better? I'm only about 10 feet from the router now. Good Lord, dude. I need to grow my beard back. This is not okay. I need like a pillow or something. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what is up. Actually, I think it's more of an issue with iOS. I've got the latest iOS running on the phone, and it's just been really weird with Wi-Fi. I don't know what the problem is. So anyway, so what I was going to tell you about the Patsy Cline thing is, so on the internet radio, you can choose content from the 40,000 stations, or you can go and add your own if you know the IP address, or at least the URL. Angel's Horn Router, I like that. It's a little flatter, more flattering up there. Good grief. You can go into the interface. You can access a browser and access the IP address, behind your firewall of the device, and you get a very basic GUI. And in there, you can go in and add stations manually. So I found that there was actually a Patsy Cline station through a service called Exclusively Radio. They have a Glenn Miller station. They have, thousands of artists. But for whatever reason, SkyTune doesn't serve up the Patsy Cline one. So I went in there, found the stream, then accessed the device and manually added the URL to that, and it's working. So I'm actually getting that streaming 24/7 now, which is really cool. Sorry, I'm shaking there. Alrighty, is the Fluence RT80 a great turntable? Yeah, it's great. I love it. I've got mine still, and it is beautiful. That's another company that we have something coming from. I need to call those guys. Yeah, they've got a new thing coming out. They don't like me talking. Okay, insider knowledge. They don't like me saying this, okay? But Fluence is the same company as, what's it called? I can't think of it. It's the Canadian company. They make like the wooden all-in-ones. What in the heck is it called? Ah, shoot. You guys will have to tell me. Anyway, they're the same company. Circus World Direct. I'm not joking. You heard that right. Circus World Direct is a parent company, and they have both brands. So, but they like their Fluence line. Their speakers, by the way, are fantastic. I love my Fluence speakers. You can call it Ghostbusters. You know it. But yeah, the RT80, great turntable. It's the very, very, very most basic one they have, but it's fantastic. Taking us back to the 80s. Thanks for letting me know. I want to get it for my sister because yeah, it's a great turntable. It's really good. It's really lightweight, but it. Have you a caged bird in your room or a smoke detector with the battery taken out? I've watched live streams with people that have both of those things happening, and I know that's annoying, so I'm sorry. This would be a bird. This would be Yoshi, who's been on the show right now. His cage is not, he has freedoms. He has the ability to come out of his cage and walk around on top. His home. Cage is a strong word, so we're going to call it a home. That kind of sounds bad too. It's his residence. He has a residence, and Yoshi the bird, nicknamed Sean. And he is a green cheek canoer, and he loves to parrot, if you will, sounds. And we had a house that was almost in the mountains, and the house came with a security system that was not configured for full security mode. By the way, we do have one now. But this one, at this point, only beeped when you would open a door or a window. And he decided to copy that beep and now parrots it back to us at all times, especially when you open a door or you are trying to record or live stream and he wants to annoy you. So he's a vocal. Sometimes it gets so bad I have to put him in another room because he gets so, sometimes he gets to go upstairs while we're filming downstairs just to get him in a different part of the house. Changing turntable speed. By the way, if you wonder why Larry has such a cool badge by his name, he is a member of the Record-ology Vinyl Nation. What is the Vinyl Nation, you might ask? It is our members only program. And we do members only live chats. This one is opened up to everybody. But in those live chats that are members only, they can chat. They have badges. The color of it changes, like a little 45 adapter. Changes depending on how long they've been a member. Larry's from day one, I think. Thank you so much for doing that. And we do an exclusive weekly show for members every Friday. So everybody that's a member of that gets to have another show every week, a third show. If you're not a member yet, check out the link in the descriptions of videos for that. Electrohome, that's the other company. Fluence and Electrohome, yes. Are you going to do a 2-year review of your LP120? I will not be doing that because I no longer own my LP-120. The LP-120 was sold a few months ago. Somebody who really needed one, so they got a really good deal on that. So I cannot. A lot of probably the most common question I get is what happens to all these turntables and other things that we have. They do stack up. You know, I don't even know how many I have in here right now. But you know, they get donated, especially around the holidays. They get sold, they get stored, they get given, and so yeah, that one left. And do I regret that? A little bit, because it was a beautiful turntable. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I have my Crosley C100, which comes out of the same factory. They're both made by Handpin, and it's a great turntable, but they don't have the weight in it because they put a weight, like a metal weight, in the LP-120. It gives it more heft. It feels higher quality. They say it helps with the resonance properties of the shell of the plinth, but the Crosleys don't do that because they cost more to import that way. But it's essentially not. I wouldn't say the same turntable because there are significant differences, but I do miss my LP-120. I want to get the higher end ones, the 140s that have the VTA adjustment and things of that nature. That's also on the list, by the way. So I may do another review of another LP-120, but what became of your spare Angel's Horn turntable and the parts? So they never sent the parts because when we did the second show, they both magically worked. So there's something intermittent going on, and I am just not sure. So right now, where are they? They're in the hallway downstairs, and they're sitting there as an eyesore, not because of the product inside, but because of the boxes. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with those yet. I'm not going to be that would not be something I would go to as a daily driver. What do I think about Victrola 3-in-1? It depends on which one. There's so many variants out there. I think that the all-in-ones really have a good place. I really do. We started this channel being very friendly to the entry-level stuff, and Larry's rocking the badges and the exclusive emojis, our custom-made emojis. Although I think I made these way too small. And hit that like button. Yes, it is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. The likes are definitely helpful. I need to redo these emojis so that they're bigger. Definitely. But anyway, the all-in-ones, the suitcase players have a good part, and we're very friendly to them. I don't think they damage anything. I think they track heavier and they wear out records faster, but not to the point of damaging. When I get a brand new prized record, which doesn't happen that often, but when it does, am I hesitant or nervous about putting it on an all-in-one? I still have an all-in-one. I've got a Victrola. I think they changed the names on them. It's called something. I don't even know what it's called, but it's kind of the modern 6-in-1. And we reviewed it before it came out, and I remember they asked for it back. They're like, "Can we have that back?" And I'm like, "No, we don't do that." Yeah, you're getting a product review on the channel here. Everybody gets to check it out. We're not sending anything back to you. I've never done that. A lot of companies are like, "Yeah, well, you can review this, but we want it back." I'm like, I'm not going to pay to send it back because if it gets damaged in transit or something, it's stupid. I'm not going to do that. So anyway, we reviewed that before it came out. Got it in the bedroom. It's got an amazing like amber lit dial that looks really cool at night. But anyway, I would be a little hesitant putting on my best records on one of those units because they do track heavier, and I have documented that you can see some shading and whatnot from that. Now you may say, well, that's damage, and that's what's tough because it's a sliding scale. Is it damage or is it wear? Is it use? Is it normal? That's hard to say. I don't believe that people think that they just shred your records, and I don't believe that. But I would prefer to play the higher end records on the higher end units. That's just me. If you have the option. Now, for a long time, I didn't have that option. I had an entry level record player, and I was very thankful because that's all I had. And I was buying a bunch of very worn out, thrift store and used records that truly didn't matter whatsoever. So perhaps the caveat to will it damage records and the answer being no is that if you're talking about, I want to say junk vinyl, but if you're talking about records that are well loved and worn and used, you're definitely not going to have an issue. If you have brand new pristine virgin vinyl, they will wear them faster. So I would be a little bit hesitant to that. I don't know why I'm going on that tangent. Call a spade a shovel. Okay, call a shovel a spade. I love the word differences in different regions. It's funny. Hope to get my acetate disc recorder back at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, that is something I would love to get into, is cutting a record. I've never done that. There have been a few that pop up, locally that I've, thought about getting, but I just haven't taken that leap yet. That would be the natural thing, though, to check that out. I also have never recorded an 8-track. All my 8-track stuff is play only. By the way, I was really surprised that the show on 8-track repair didn't do better than it, than it did. Not many people, well, a lot of people watched it, but not as many as I thought would watch it. Maybe it'll do better in the long run there. But my friend Peter, aka Fartamark, he of course does know how to do that. He knows how to do everything. I realized that he was a different level kind of person when we were talking about an old phonograph, like my Vita Nola, or he has like a Victrola type. I think he has a Victrola, and the platter is like a tin or a metal platter with like a green flocking on it, and his looked pristine. I'm like, that looks amazing. I can't believe it. The flocking lasted. He's like, oh, I reflocked it. I'm like, what do you mean you reflocked it? I didn't know that was a thing. How do you do that? He's like, oh yeah, I just order these reflocking kits. And I'm like, what? Reflocking kits? My dad sometimes will ask me, he'll be like, we'll be talking about something like, say, 8-track repair. And he's surprised that there are people that sell materials for that. I'm like, you think that's obscure? Try somebody selling flocking kits for vintage phonographs. Somebody had that idea. You know what? Profitable business. Maybe we could sell flocking kits for vintage turntables or antique phonographs, gramophones. Just crazy stuff. But he of course, has the equipment and the ability to know how he's cut records. We reviewed some of them. He does a great job. What is your favorite Glenn Miller recording? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're talking about single songs, so not albums. I can't do this. It's harder than picking your favorite child. It is really difficult. Favorite Glenn Miller recording. I'm going to say a few of my favorites because I'm not going to be able to pick one. Happy in Love, sung by Marion Hutton. I got to hear the Glenn Miller band led by Nick Hilscher perform that live at the World War II Festival a couple years ago. Really bummed. 2 years now in a row they haven't been able to do that because of the situation. And, I hope they come back next year. They do an amazing, we've covered it 2 or 3 years in a row on the channel. It's like stepping onto a World War II air base, and they have air raid sirens going off, all kinds of army equipment, materials, dress, clothing, food, all kind of drive-in movies, car shows, and then Glenn Miller Orchestra and other bands playing there. You got like Frank Sinatra, a guy looks exactly like him. Denver has an amazing, I think his name is Eric. It's kind of a funny name. Eric Evilsizer. I think that's how it's spelled. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but he's a fantastic Frank Sinatra. And I think last year that they did it, he actually parachuted in to the event. He parachutes in and walks up on stage and is like, "Fly me to the moon." It was amazing. It was great. So that was cool. They've got like Winston Churchill walking around, all these characters that are just it's my Comic Con. It is my geek event. My wife went me to the first one and she's like, "Yep, these are your people," and I'm not coming back. She did, so I've been going with my dad, which is awesome the last few years. But what's funny is my wife and I met and bonded over big band music and World War II history. In fact, our first date was at a World War II hangar dance with a B-17. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? This is literally what, we got started on. And so anyway, it's kind of funny, but I miss that event. I really do. Okay, so on another tangent there. So favorite recordings, Glenn Miller. It happened in Sun Valley. The recording's done by Fox Studios, but actually recorded on optical film. It's the best recording quality you'll ever hear of the civilian Glenn Miller band. The recordings of the Army band done at Abbey Road Studios and other places. Sorry about that. Happened again. All right, we'll try to wrap it up, guys. I want to get through these questions. Really appreciate you hanging in there. I know it's been a rough one with all these glitches and whatnot. Next year, I hope to get the 1907 Edison Triumph. Things didn't work. That'd be really cool. Glenn Miller recordings. There's so many of them, but there's a couple of them. Happy in Love, um, Sweet Eloise, Sweet Eloise, the last 5 seconds of Sweet Eloise. It's just divine. I love that music so much. There's also an exclusive Glenn Miller station, by the way. And not really record related, but do thrift stores support charities? In the UK, we have charity shops, not thrift stores. Excellent question. Yes and no. Some of them do. So there's three main brands, as it were, for thrift stores. There's Goodwill, there's Ark Thrift Store, and then there is Salvation Army. Salvation Army is obviously a Christian organization, and the same people that ring the bell, during Christmas time. So those charities, they hire people that are emerging from the prison system and getting back on their feet, and that money goes back into supporting flood victims, all that stuff. So them, yes, very much directly. Goodwill, I'm not sure about Ark. I am not sure about Ark. But Goodwill is actually a profit business, which is surprising. And it's the CEO is wealthy, and it is a business. Now you may be saying this sounds fraudulent, but it's not, because the money that they get goes into supporting the overall Goodwill program and getting people back on their feet. So everybody that works there, or not everybody that works there, but people that they hire are also kind of coming back into independence, life on their own, supporting themselves. So they provide employment versus like straight, all the money just kind of cash flowing back into a charity. So it's a little bit different, but they are doing good work. Given the chance to donate between the two of them, I would go and find a Salvation Army. We also have a lot of these things. I don't know if you have them over there. They're like these metal boxes that are about the size of a dumpster or a large bin. And it's weird. They have like a handle. You pull the handle down and you can, donate mostly clothing, shoes, sometimes books and toys and things. And those are independent charities. You'll just see them at gas stations and parking lots all over town. There must be hundreds of them. So you can donate to those as well. And those support individual charities. Like I saw one that was like a disabled, like a Special Olympics kind of thing for hockey players, for kids that, are impaired with physical ailments that prevent them. Like they don't have legs, you know what I mean? Or they, don't have the ability to play hockey. It's very specific. And there's a lot of charities that are like that. So it's fun to find the charities that you care about and then donate to those charities as well. Okay. Good grief, you guys are sending some awesome comments. Thank you so much. Alrighty, do you know that your t-shirt says Hostbusters? Let me get the G over there. Okay, sorry about that. This is, again, not the most flattering. It is a Hostbusters shirt. You did better than I. What's that on the 8 tracks? I usually don't do good on much, which is hopefully part of the entertainment factor. Watched it, always being fascinated with 8 tracks. My brother used to have one in his car when he was a kid. That's cool. For fuck's sake, what's next? Oh, albums is fine. For the albums, I really want to focus on collecting the complete Glenn Miller set from the 70s, because they don't have any fake stereo reverb added, and I've got about 75% of that collected. I think if somebody could come up with new 8-track cartridge shells, they might make a decent chunk of money. 3D printing is a little expensive on demand and time consuming, but that's an interesting idea. How do I feel about Julie London? I don't have strong feelings about Julie London. Old Radio says, just keeping the tape from unraveling I know, right? It's a scary thing. I wouldn't want to have like a favorite album only in that format. I would probably go buy a CD of it as well. Larry says, Glenn Miller and Beatles recording together would have been wild. Can you imagine? And Ray McKinley, who led the Glenn Miller Orchestra in the 50s and early 60s, released an album of Glenn Miller covering 60s music, and there are some Glenn Miller Orchestra Beatles songs in there, which is crazy. But yeah, they both recorded at Abbey Road. Julie London is on. I probably do know her and like her. Habitat for Humanity Restored. There you go. That's another one. We do have that as well. What's the best cartridge for the LP3? You know, it's very much your preference. The Audio Technicas, in my opinion, sound pretty neutral. If you like that. If you like a warm, kind of resonant, bassy sound, then a Grado cartridge is maybe one you should look at. The Ortophons sound a little bit cool and cold to me. Perhaps accurate would be another way to describe them. I have an Artie Shaw record that my dad owned when he was 17 years old. It's awesome. Love Artie Shaw's music. It's good stuff. A Koetsu black cartridge. You know, I would love to get into the Microline and Shibata stuff. I just haven't got that, been able to do that. I just can't afford that stuff yet. But if I find a good deal on one, I might snap one up. I'd love to do that. I'd love to review a cartridge that's a moving coil as well. I've got a couple preamps that'll support moving coil. And the LP3 actually natively supports a moving coil. And if you're wondering why they have to specify, we talked before about how a ceramic cartridge, and the ceramic is not the needle. Some people were like, I want a diamond stylus. I don't want a ceramic stylus. Well, it's not the stylus. The stylus is usually diamond or sapphire, but the ceramic is in the cartridge itself. And we've talked about that in detail. That puts out line level. So it literally, straight out the gate, outputs the same voltage level that powered speakers or a stereo is accepting. Doesn't need an amplifier, which is why, well, it doesn't need a preamplifier, which is why entry-level stuff uses the cheap to make, and they can include one less thing in those turntables. With a moving magnetic, it requires that preamp to get it up to line level so that it can be, plugged into something. Then moving coil, which is the same components as a moving magnetic, but instead of the coil being stationary and the magnets moving, the magnet's stationary and the coils move. And it outputs an even lower signal. So you have to have a special preamp setting for that, or a preamp that'll handle that. JD says, I love the clarinet. My wife played the clarinet. She still can. It's amazing. That's a very difficult instrument. Have you played the rewound reel of tape yet? I know, people have been asking. I need to do that. I haven't done it yet. Have you ever seen Disney vinyls from Mexico? Some are in red or green. I've not. I've seen if you're talking about non-authorized bootleg, as it were, I haven't seen a lot of that stuff. I did see a red vinyl, was it Beach Boys? I didn't buy it. It was only like 15 bucks. And I was like, I could tell it was bootleg. It was, it was non-English characters on the front, letters. So anyway, it was cool looking, but no, I haven't seen any of the Disney ones, if that's what they are. If you're talking about the picture disc authorized ones, yes, I've got the Cinderella one. Old Radio says, found a failed mixtape 8-track where someone tried to record their 45s 8-track, but their turntable kept skipping and the original taper left the rest of the take blank. Interesting. That's cool. Have you ever done headphone reviews or thought of doing so in the future? Yes, we've reviewed a few headphones. We've reviewed a lot of Bluetooth earbuds, and I need to put more playlists together for specific product groupings so that, when people ask about that kind of stuff, we can do it. If you guys are watching on TV, somebody was saying a while ago they're watching on the Roku, so I apologize for my enormous head on your TV. When we're live streaming, sometimes people like this, and it's like, wow, what if they knew their head was about 4 feet tall in our living room right now? But yeah, we have reviewed headphones. Fine line GYGER 2 stylus is a multifaceted polished square diamond. Interesting. Yeah, trying out different cartridges was something that I kind of overlooked early on, and then it came to me that this is a major component of a record player, and we really need to focus more on that. So we've reviewed some cartridges from manufacturers I mentioned before. I think we're going to wrap it up, you guys. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. I don't want to take up all of your time tonight. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, and I really wish it was Friday, but we have one more day to go, and I need to finish some email before I can log off for the day. So I want to thank you all so much for jumping on here. I love these sessions. I love these times. The Disney colored vinyls from Mexico are not really bootleg. They were from CBS Mexico. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And I'd love to check it out. I'd love it. I think all vinyl should be colored or picture disc or something. I think why not? Why have a boring blank black record? It's just carbon black added. You know, some people swear they sound fine and they sound better, and I don't know about that. But anyway, back to my thought about carts real quick. A cartridge is really the only thing doing anything on a record player. A record player's job is to spin accurately and consistently the disc. The cartridge is what is the cartridge is the device that is creating the sound. And you know, depending if there's a built-in preamp, there may be some preamplification at the turntable level, but it's a fairly simple device. So cartridges is really where the magic is, which is why it's frustrating when you see a great turntable. We reviewed a few lately that, you know, are pretty dang decent, and then they have the cheapest cartridge you can put on there. It's like, that's not a small part. That is the part. You know what I mean? You shouldn't cheap out on that. Larry says, dinner time? I don't know if dinner is coming anytime soon tonight. There's a lot of work that still needs to happen. That was fun. Yeah, I think it was fun too, guys. So thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you. Again, join the nation if you want extra content, because we're going to do members only stuff in the future, including a show tomorrow. Have I filmed that show? No. Do I know what I'm going to do for that show? No. I was thinking about taking something apart. I like looking inside stuff. I want to give exclusive stuff to our Vinyl Nation members. So join if you haven't done so already. Reminder to check out my wife's channel, Beyond the Purple Suitcase. Because we've had so much router issues tonight, I probably won't post these shows. So for those of you in here, just remember Beyond the Purple Suitcase. Check it out. The 78 stylus. I know I broke the cantilever on my Ortofon 7.8, OM 7.8, and the only thing I have right now besides the Vita Nola, 1917 Vita Nola that'll play 78s, is my schoolroom Audiotronics. And Peter sent me some styli, their flip styli that'll play. That's the only thing I can have that'll play 78s right now. Also, if you haven't checked out our TikTok, go check out TikTok. My wife's channel has TikTok as well. She's on every social. So if you look up Beyond the Purple Suitcase, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all these things, she's got pictures, posts, content, videos, all kinds of cool stuff. So check her out for sure. And but yeah, TikTok is fun. And I know some people don't like that platform, and I get it. I hadn't been on TikTok until very, very recently. By the way, you can tailor your content so you don't get a bunch of garbage. If you're like me and you don't want to see a bunch of smut on there, you know, you can tailor. I don't get anything like that anymore in my feed. And, you know, mostly it's about thumbs upping the stuff you do like, you know, saying you're not interested in the things you're not interested in, following channels, and pretty much the algorithm will figure out, okay, this person wants certain kind of content, and they tailor it as well. You'll hear some content creators talk about talking and meeting with YouTube lately. I've been invited to some meetings with YouTube. I've been in a few, and we've been talking about their efforts to kind of invest time and money in their Shorts platform to compete with TikTok. So if you're in the YouTube player down there, there's actually a Shorts button. A lot of people import their TikTok content. You can tell because there's a little watermark over here or over here. But we do videos in there as well. So check that out. We have a lot of cool stuff. There's so much stuff out there, you guys. I'm just having fun. I've got a bunch of stuff on my phone, Shorts-wise and TikTok-wise, I need to upload. So I'm going to try and do that a couple more tonight. So Shorts is better. Okay, so I agree. One last thing, and then I'm gonna dip. Shorts is better than TikTok in one aspect, in my opinion. That is the algorithm is better. Here's why it's better. You can thumbs up, thumbs down right from the interface, and it's very accurate in terms of, okay, you don't want to see, you know, whatever thing, you don't have to see it again, and it usually, you know, abides by that. That TikTok does as well. But what TikTok does is it narrows your scope to just the things you follow and just the things you like, and doesn't serve up as much random new stuff. Whereas the YouTube algorithm for Shorts, I feel like still gives you more random stuff that meets the parameters in terms of not being, you know, inappropriate. All right, guys, we are going to say good night, goodbye to every one of you. I truly appreciate you joining. Thank you so much, guys. Happy record hunting, and we will see you next time.